In this video tutorial, I'm going to attempt to draw a speech bubble icon using Adobe Illustrator. You can see that a lot of social media outlets use speech bubbles as icons. We've got on Talk, WhatsApp, Line, and so on. So being able to draw a speech bubble is probably quite a useful thing to do. I'm going to hide this layer away, and I'm going to start off with a ellipse tool. So I'm going to draw something that is roughly speech bubble sized. I'm going to start off with a new layer in order to do this. And speech bubbles tend to be about twice as wide as they are tall. So something along the lines of that. So there's my basic bubble, but I won't need to have the speech part, the bit that attaches to the mouth. And what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to draw something that's vaguely circular. And then I'm going to cut into it with another circle. So what it's going to make is a kind of crescent shape. To be able to get the crescent, I'm going to have to use the Pathfinder tool. So I'm going to go to Window and Pathfinder. And then I'm going to highlight these two circles that are overlapping and use minus front. And you can see that what that's done there is to give me a kind of crescent moon shape. And I can take this and I can place it so that it overlaps with my original speech bubble. And then all I have to do is highlight these two and then use the unite command. And there I have it. Maybe not perfect positioning here for this. Maybe I should have been doing it a tiny bit higher up. But there's my basic speech bubble. So all I need to do now is to fill it with a particular color. So I could maybe make this blue and then put a rounded rectangle as my background to turn it into a logo. So rounded rectangle, and I'm going to draw it from the center out. So center is roughly about here. That's the center of the shape. I'm going to use the Alt key and I'm going to draw my rounded rectangle up and around that. To make it a perfect square, I would hold the Shift key down as well. Obviously that has completely covered what was there. So I'm going to start off and give it no fill and make sure that the stroke is a decent size, so maybe something like 18 point. So there I have my basic logo. Now thinking back to some of these icons, we have one there that has a little smile, and I could use a similar technique in order to create my smile. So I'm going to take an ellipse. I'm going to draw approximately that. It doesn't have to be perfect circle. Maybe make it again quite ellipse-like. I'm then going to take another ellipse and bite into that. Highlight these two and use minus front. And what that's left me here with is a smile, but it's got very, very sharp corners. So if I was to take that, let's see if I make the stroke white. So white stroke, take it on here and put it there. And you see it as a very, very sharp corners there, which is not what I'm looking for. So what I could do is to take this object and go to Effect, Stylize, and Round Corners. And I'm going to switch on the preview to see what that looks like. That's not too bad. I'll maybe take it up to 20 pixels. And that's a bit more rounded. And that is similar to this here. In actual fact, this one here only has a single line. So what I would do there is to also give it a white fill. So take this shape, give it here a white fill, and that is my smile. It's a little bit too curved here, so I'm just going to shrink the scale of it, and that is looking much more like the logo that we saw earlier.